Someone's coming. Hurrah, we're saved.
But what if it's a tomb robber?
Hello, Miss Seymour.
Mr. Lawrence. What in heaven's name are you doing here?
I've been up in Syria looking at the Crusader castles, and I thought I'd take in a bit of Egypt before going home. Hello.
Hi.
Mr. Henry Jones, Jr. of Princeton, New Jersey. Mr. T.E. Lawrence of Jesus College, Oxford.
How do you do, Mr. Lawrence?
Awfully well, thank you. And please call me Ned. I say, you're not related to Professor Henry Jones by any chance?
He's my dad.
I've read his books, they're brilliant.
Pierre, make sure you get some pictures of these seals.
Very good, Mr. Carter.
We found these last month. Pottery, linen, and these clay seals, all 18th dynasty. This one bears the name of the king, Tutankhamun.
Ah, the boy pharaoh, Mr. Carter.
How old was he?
About your age, when he became a pharaoh.
Do you think his tomb still exists?
I'm certain of it, Mr. Lawrence. And I believe we shall find it, with hard work and a great deal of luck. I have an almost superstitious conviction about it. Not very scientific, I'm afraid.
Henry. And the tomb you found yesterday, Mr. Carter?
Also 18th dynasty, but alas, not the king's. His name was Ka.
Ka?
He seems to be in some kind of architect or engineer. We may know more when we open up his tomb.
Will you be the first ones inside of it?
Yes. Would you like to come along?
Jeepers creepers. Thanks.
Walter! Henry, my dear fellow. Good to see you. May I introduce my wife, Anna?
Hello.
Miss Helen Seymour. And my son, Henry Jr.
Delighted to meet you all. Well, this way, I have a carriage waiting. How's the crossing? Not too rough, I hope. Mediterranean can be awfully unreliable.
I've arranged something tomorrow which may interest you. Tea with the Sharifa of Jebel.
The Sharifa of Jebel, wasn't she?
Emily Keane, quite right, Miss Seymour.
Emily Keane is, or I should say was, an Englishwoman.
She came over here some years ago.
And married a native.
Well, it's a bit more than a native. The Sharif was descended from Muhammad. People revered him. Yes, she's a remarkable woman. I'm sure you'll like her.
Mr. Harris.
Sharifa. May I introduce to you Professor Jones?
We are honored to meet you, Sharifa.
How do you do?
Mrs. Jones?
It is always pleasant to meet Americans.
Henry Jr.
Oh, hello. Hello.
Miss Helen Seymour?
And, of course, a fellow countrywoman.
And you know Sheikh S. Salih, the Sultan's emissary?
Welcome back to my humble home. Please come in. We will have tea. Lovely.
Henry Jones, Jr., Professor Jones' son. Hella's a taxidermist. He prepares the specimens for transportation. Hella, let me introduce you to Henry Jones, Jr., Professor Jones' son. Hello.
Pleased to meet you, Mr. Heller.
Hella's a taxidermist. He prepares the specimens for transportation back to the United States.
The next time you go into a museum and stare at a lion, you can think of me and my blood-stained hands.
Henry, this is Frederick Salou. He helped plan the safari and is probably one of the best hunters in all of Africa.
Good to meet you, Henry.
Pleased to meet you, sir.
Excuse me.
And that's President Roosevelt's son, Kermit.
Kermit, are you ready?
Yes, Father, all set. Come on in.
Comedians to keep her amused.
This is how you do it.
puff your cheeks and you take in a breath. See? Easy. You don't need to abandon funny men.
It's great. My name's Indy.
I'm Norman.
Introduce yourself properly. This is Henry Jones Jr. I'm Miss Seymour, and you are Norman
Rockwell. Oh, I like this one. Look at the amazing nose.
Wow.
Bagilandio. The boy is the old man's grandson.
Well, we've seen the smiles and we've seen the noses, so what's next?
Well, we haven't seen the modern artists yet.
Hey, look. That's Degas. We saw his paintings at the Louvre.
Who's the other guy?
I don't know.
I did. You didn't.
But I still don't like them.
Because you don't understand them.
I understand them, just don't like them.
You think they are indecent, is that it?
Indecent? My dear fellow.
A few years ago, every critic in Paris called my work indecent. I couldn't pay a gallery to show my paintings. So don't tell me about decency in art. And tell me, why do you dislike them? Because they are destructive. You are throwing out perspective and composition. Exactly, because we need a new way of seeing. Oh, a new way of seeing is fine. But I can't tell if that is a woman or a cow. Again, my point. I see shape, the real shape, the form. The real shape of a woman is different from the real shape of a cow. Now, my dear fellow, you asked for my opinion and I gave it to you. But I must warn you. Do you know what people are saying? That your new paintings will destroy you. Who says that? Matisse. And that Russian collector. Shukin. Shukin. He actually wept, telling me what a loss you are for French art. You are bringing art not just to an end, but to a dead end. You are not a bad painter. But the man who did this couldn't do what I do. Good day.
Jigger! I can do what you do in my sleep!
Monsieur Degas, Pablo doesn't want to offend you.
No offense taken.
I can paint him into the ground!
Wait a minute. Can't say that about him.
What?
That's Degas. He's a great artist. Nobody can paint like him.
I better get back to my hotel. Excuse me.
So, you think I can't paint like him? Would you like to come to my studio and see me paint like him?
Can I finish my honor?
Forget it! We're talking about art. What's your name, little man?
Jones. What's yours?
I am Picasso.
Most paintings of nude women pose for an audience. Degas women don't. We are with them in private, like here. He says he likes his women washing to be like a she cat. licking herself. He sees women without mercy. Their skin turns pink and blue like ours does when we're washing. He puts on layers of pastel. But the chalk isn't like oil paint in layers, is it? See? It rubs off. That's the trick. It's as if we're scrubbing her back for her. Rest. Now, for the final stage.
The final stage?
To get Degas right, you must do it as he does. From memory. Degas likes to feel what he's doing.
You didn't like his painting?
No, I like it very much. I'd just rather see him paint like himself and not like Degas.
In that case, follow me.
My goodness.
You like it?
Yes, but what is it? It's like blocks or cubes or...
Cubism, the newest of the new. What Pablo has done is he's taken human bodies to bits and rearranged everything.
What's he doing here?
Those are mine. And a lot of people can't tell the difference.
Do you mind that?
It's the paintings that matter. You see, a cubist landscape shows how the earth is made of solid shapes at different distances from the viewer.
But it doesn't look real.
Is it the painter's job to make everything look absolutely real? Isn't it exciting, this idea to make you feel, to see beyond?
I want one of his cubist paintings.
You'll have to die to get one of his paintings.
Oh.
Fernand.
This is Mr. Kahnweiler. He's a famous art dealer. This is Norman. He's a great painter. Then this is Gertrude Stein.
Hello.
And this is Alice B. Toklas.
Hello.
Rousseau!
And this is Rousseau, the primitive painter.
Your speech!
We are the two great painters of the age.
Si, gracias.
You in the Egyptian style, me in the modern.
Tell us your ghost story.
Oh, no. I'm too frightened.
Be brave.
Tell us. Come on, tell the story. Be brave.
Go on, get it. Yes, go on.
The ghost walks the catacombs. He presides over the dead of Paris. He is the supreme phantom and satanic messenger. He is on the roofs and in the doorway. Gauguin saw the ghost. And Vincent too. He told me. Then, when all Paris slept, the ghost arise.
Dispense. Kein Holzkreuz mehr. Sehr schön, euer König. Sehr gut. Bitte
genug für heute. Meine Damen und Herren, bitte bringen Sie Ihre Pferde in die Ställe zurück. Eure königliche Hoheit. Herr Jones, wie oft muss ich Sie noch ermahnen? Dies ist keine Wildwest-Show. Dies ist die spanische Hofreitschule.
Verzeihen Sie, mein Herr. Ich will es mehr merken. Er ist wunderschön. Sie ist wunderschön. Sie ist wunderschön. My name is Henry Jones, Jr. My family's staying at the American Embassy here. My father's on a lecture tour. We move on next week, but I've had a great time here. Especially these riding lessons. You're a fine horse rider. You should know that. Probably do.
My English is nicht good.
Probably better than my German.
Yes, it is.
They call you Your Highness. Are you a princess?
Yes. My father's next for the throne.
Do you have another name?
Sophie, after my mother. But my father calls me Pinky.
Pinky? So, what should I call you?
Your Highness? Mr. Jones?
Yes?
We are going park walking now. Is it that you are going too?
Sure.
Which is why I ask us all to raise our glasses tonight. To wish Dr. Freud, Dr. Young, and Dr. Adler the very best of luck in their new science. Ladies and gentlemen.
Dr. Freud, may I ask you, what did you find was the most fascinating moment of the conference?
When they declared my theories had nothing to do with science, but instead were a matter for the police. Dear me.
It's because everything you say is couched in biological terms.
Well, I suppose you would rather I spoke of the spirit. Huh?
Maybe.
But what is spirit?
Everything.
No. Everything that shows what you call spirit has more to do with repressed sexuality.
Culture is our spirit, our whole civilization.
Civilization, Carl.
And don't tell me it's just a consequence of repressed sexuality.
Yes, I'm afraid it is.
The whole dilemma of power, eros, and love seems to be never-ending.
Well, to quote you, Carl, the pendulum of the mind swings between sense and nonsense, not between right and wrong.
That makes sense.
I beg your pardon?
Well, his idea about the mind swinging between sense and nonsense?
So you also agree that power, eros, and love present us with an unsolvable dilemma?
Why? Do you know what love is?
How many kinds of love?
There are.
Sure, there is romantic love, the kind we all know about. Especially your father.
Romantic love was a creation of the medieval troubadour, to show that there was more to it all than the biological act.
Well, I suppose that romantic love was invented as a brilliant means of seduction.
Love was invented?
Yes, and that was the beginning of the end, young man.
Why do you say that?
The notion of romantic love has led to more death and destruction than anything. Say, possibly religion.
Please, Sigmund, this boy asked me what love is. Let me try and explain.
Well, your explanations are of no importance, Carl. What you really should try to explore is why he wants to know.
I just want to know, that's all. What is love?
Love stems from a desire for balance. We all share a picture of what we think of men and women. We all have a female and male image stored inside of all of us.
So, like a memory?
No. If we understand the full nature of both the female and male in all of us, we gain a balance. And it is our yearning for that balance that makes us feel this thing we call love.
So, love is a yearning for balance.
Someday you'll meet a girl, and she will feel like the missing half of yourself.
I think I already have.
You have?
I read a poem, Love's Philosophy, by Shelley. Nothing in the world is single, all things by law divine. In one another's being mingle.
This child can understand what Jung is talking about. I tell you, children's minds are incredible.
But where exactly does love come into all that?
Sex. That's where love comes into all of that, young man.
Please, Sigmund.
No. The boy asked a question. All love is derived from the need for sexual gratification. Even this boy's love of his mother. Henry, love in the heart of someone your age is a powerful and dangerous thing. I've been watching you tonight, sitting there, all quiet, withdrawn. Is she pretty? You must be in a terrible situation.
How did you know?
Gentlemen, can't we help him?
In love, your whole personality is involved.
But my whole personality is involved. I think about her all the time. I dream about her.
If you think what you feel is love, treasure that feeling, build on it, and it will provide a strong basis for your later life.
Yes, but why do I feel so out of control?
Because you are. But you must not be afraid, Henry.
You must not let the castle walls keep you from your love.
But I still don't know what love is.
Love can be an act of the spirit, if you are Carl Jung. A romantic act, if you are your father. An act of companionship, if you like Dr. Adler's interpretation. But as far as I'm concerned, it's a biological act. It's a sexually motivated act. Either way, it is painful and wonderful all at once. But please, Henry, remember one thing.
What's that?
Don't turn away from it. To deny your love for someone is dangerous. Dangerous both to you and to the person you love. Shout out your love loud.
I wish I could.
What do you think, gentlemen?
I think you can.
And I think so too.
I'm sure you can, Henry.
After your behavior at the riding school, I hope for your sake that you have good reason for disturbing us.
Sir, I have come to ask your permission to ask Princess Sophie for her hand in marriage when I am older. And because of that, I would like to say farewell before we go. I know it's late, but tomorrow I leave Vienna. And in the short time that I've been here, I believe that I've fallen in love with your daughter. And I hope she feels the same way about me.
Oh, you do?
Sir, I believe your daughter to be in danger.
Why?
Because it is dangerous to deny our feelings of love. We leave tomorrow, please, sir. I think Sophie would be very upset if I did not see her before I went.
Follow me. I made a vow that my children will marry who they please. Wait here. So long as they are Austrian.
Guess that counts me out.
It's strange. The Emperor denied me permission to marry Sophie's mother. Because she was not a Habsburg. Like you, I had to storm the palace. It is fitting the first young man to fall in love with my daughter should storm my home. Here is your letter. I'm sure Sophie would appreciate your concern for her welfare, but I could never allow her to marry an American. Especially one who has made up his mind about her when he was so young. You are very courageous, and doubtless in years to come will prove to be a great soldier.
Thank you, sir.
So I think you should be wise enough to wait until you have lived a little longer before committing yourself to any young woman.
But Sophie is not just any young woman. And who knows when I'll be in Vienna again. Please, please let me say goodbye to her.
No. It would only upset her. She's in bed where you should be too. Kurt, arrange a carriage to take Mr. Jones to the American embassy.
But...
Enough. Good night.
Maestro, it is I, Signora Reale, with my guests.
Oh, yes. I must beg your forgiveness, but I will not be able to join your supper party tonight. I'm too tired.
No, an excuse is not acceptable, Maestro. Allow me to introduce Mrs. Hannah Jones of New Jersey, America.
Mrs. Jones, it would be an honor.
Au! Det är min jag skjutni och bil. Akten godnik.
Nika faharu paruski.
Nu говоришь по-русски?
Нет.
Français? Deutsch?
Nein.
Italia?
No.
English?
Yes. Yes, I speak English.
A common language, wonderful. You reeking little swine, how dare you shoot me in the ass?
I thought you were a giant weasel.
Do I look like a giant weasel? Is it my twitching snout, my long hairless tail? Are all little English boys as stupid as you?
I'm not English. I'm American.
That explains it.
Yeah, well, I'm sorry.
Gigantskaya laska, противный мальчик. I hate young people.
Yeah? Well, I hate old people.
Ah, the murder weapon.
That's my slingshot.
Not anymore.
Give it back. Ooh, I get blamed for everything. It's always my fault. Wait! Skylar! Skylar!
Садись, голубчик. Могу я тебе что-нибудь принести? Может быть, твою Библию?
Кстати.
Успокойся.
Успокойся.
Что сделать?
Αριστοτέλειαν λογική. Φιλόσοφος είσαι?
Ναι. Ο Aristoteles. Σωστά.
You are English?
American.
American? Ah, an American philosopher.
Well, my father says that all the good philosophers are dead.
But your father is living in the Dark Ages.
Almost. He's a medieval scholar. Indiana Jones.
Nikos Kazantzakis. Good to meet you, Indiana.
You too.
So why are you trying to read that? Why aren't you out playing?
My father gave me an assignment.
Is this it?
Yeah.
Ooh, the relationship between logic and causality.
He's mad at me. I mean, he knows I can't get it done. It's impossible.
Oh, I don't know. Look at it this way. Aristotle said, nature does not act without a goal. And that sprang from his theories of causality, right?
What is causality?
We have an orange on a pile of books.
Right.
We tilt the top book. Now we push the orange. Push it. Which way did it fall?
Down, of course.
Of course. But what caused it to fall?
Well, I pushed it.
What else?
Nothing else.
Wrong. There were 4 causes.
There were?
Yes. First, the essence of the fruit. Its weight. Second, its structure. It is round. It can roll. Third, you pushed it. And fourth, that its function included seeking the lowest level.
Oh, you mean like gravity?
No. I mean its function. The orange needed to fall. Just like a bird needs to fly.
Yes, but why?
The orange needs to fall from a tree to make another tree.
What does that have to do with logic?
You know, a friend of mine wrote a wonderful poem when I first visited this monastery. You want to hear it?
Is it long?
I said to the almond tree, "Sister, speak to me of God." And the almond tree blossomed.
So, nature does not act without a goal. And 4 causes. But what causes nature?
Bravo. That is a question that comes from wisdom and not from logic. You have found the question your father hoped you would find.
I did?
You see, God, the unmoved mover, the prime cause. God dances beyond the bounds of logic. Yes. Well done.
So maybe I am a philosopher.
Maybe you are. Exciting thought, eh? You see, wisdom is greater than logic. But it leaves us asking the question, can you really accept something as being true without any proof? Well?
I don't know.
Neither do I. Yet.
Would you like to play?
Sure. Wait a minute. I'm supposed to be studying.
So am I.
Great.
You can play on my team. What is your name?
Well, my parents call me Henry, but you can call me Andy.
Jiddu Krishnamurti. This is my brother, Jiddu Nitya.
You have the same first names?
Where are you from?
New Jersey. I'm American.
Here, we see the last name first.
Wow. So, What's the inning, what's the score, and who's up?
Greetings, friends, and fellow members of the Theosophical Society. Those who don't know me, I am Annie Besant. How wonderful it is to be here in Benares, the holiest of cities. Our work is progressing wonderfully. Our membership is greater than ever. I would like to introduce you to someone, a young man who has shown unusual spiritual purity. May I present Hubert Van Hook. But today, my friends, we are gathered for a very special occasion. I believe you all know Mr. Charles Ledbetter. Charles.
Thank you, President Besant. I wish first to express the Society's gratitude for the generous donations offered tonight by two of our newest members, Mr. Mukherjee of Calcutta and Mr. Richard McCallum, just arrived from Edinburgh. It is always a momentous occasion when the spiritual powers send one of their own to teach us the way. So it was with Sri Krishna in the 4th century BC. So it was with Jesus Christ in the 1st century AD. The coming of a new world teacher has been prophesied for some time. Several months ago, friends, I was walking on the beach at Adyar. I saw an Indian boy. He was possessed of a magnificent spiritual aura. It separated him from all others. I immediately brought him to the society compound and conducted a clairvoyant investigation into his past lives. I immediately recorded the results of that investigation in this book. The spirits of the boy's past lives spoke to me. I knew then that I had discovered the new world teacher. Friends and colleagues, I present that boy, Jiddu Krishnamurti.
Hey, I know that kid.
Lovely introduction, Charles.
Thank you.
Here we have the gate of heavenly purity. That was for
Yes, Henry.
young.
And look at those lanterns there. American ladies are renowned for the strength of their constitutions.
Mother, look at the
Besides, Miss Seymour and I have 2 strong men to look after us on our journey.
Professor Jones, I have every confidence in Li Xingsui. I'm sure you could not wish for a better interpreter and a guide.
I'm sure not. And we are extremely grateful to him for undertaking this task.
Mother, can I ride on the baggage cart?
Henry, dear, you get your suit dirty and don't scuff your shoes. Come here. Come here.
And remember, Anna, he is not on holiday.
Mr. Lee and I have devised a very interesting and informative itinerary.
Yes, highly educational.
I'm sure Junior is delighted to hear that.
They say that education is a journey of the mind. So what could be better than to travel with a book in the hand?
Traveling without one.
Learn all about China, and we are going to have the greatest fun doing it.
Dad?
Oh, hello,
Lance. Hello, Indy.
Good afternoon, Mr. Stratemeyer. How's the new Tom Swift?
Troublesome. I've got Tom stuck in an Incan tomb, surrounded by rocket rangers, and his stun gun doesn't work. The villain is flooding the tomb with water, and I don't know how to get Tom out.
Well, have you read Hiram Bingham's account of the discovery of ruins in Machu Picchu?
No?
He discovered this incredible Inca city about 5 years ago. I've been reading about his discoveries in National Geographic.
Bingham.
Bingham. That's it. Anyway, you know, the Incas were incredible stonemasons, and he thinks there might be a complex maze of underground tunnels under the Machu Picchu. But he doesn't want to open them up because he thinks the whole thing might cave in. Well, I bet if Tom can get inside these tunnels, he could give him a slip. Or corner them.
Right. Well, it's very good, Indy. I'll certainly give that some thought.
Indy, the car.
Oh, Mr. Stratemeyer, about your car.
Oh, yes, I'm sorry about that.
Well, see, I was thinking, I know someone who just might be able to fix it. At Williams Brothers' garage on the edge of town. If anyone around here can fix it, they can.
I don't know.
Sir, I can get it fixed. I promise.
Oh, please, Father. Well, be careful.
Well, all right then. You'll be very careful, understand?
Thank you, Mr. Stratemeyer.
Thanks, Dad.
Hey, boys. I've had this incredible idea.
Here comes Edison.
What did they take? Well, is someone gonna answer me?
Yes, Mr. Edison. They kidnapped Dr. Thompson.
I know that. I mean, what research? What designs?
They've stolen the naval research files.
All of them?
All of them. The project files on the submarine and torpedo detection units and the battery designs.
Are you in charge here?
Yes, sir. Captain Brady, Special Investigations.
You better get naval intelligence in on this. And the president must be told immediately. I'll do that myself.
Deténganse! Deténganse! Be careful!
Estoy harto. Creí que éramos hombres, no asesinos. Soldados y héroes. Ahora quieren ver correr más sangre. Me da vergüenza. Sí, señores, me da vergüenza. Ustedes bajen esas armas. Que bajen esas armas, digo. O si no, mátenme también a mí. Ándale, mátenme. Ustedes que ven, lárguense.
¿Quién es ese?
Este es el general Francisco Villa.
¿Ese es Pancho Villa?
Sí, tuviste suerte. Hoy se debe estar sintiendo sentimental.
General Pershing, sir. Villa's columns are 40 miles to the south.
Guess is he'll circle east, head for the mountains. One thing's for sure. He'll stay clear of Ciudad Guerrero. President Carranza's got a whole army there. I'm gonna teach Villa what it means to invade the United States. I'm gonna whip his ass.
Tequila.
God bless the United States of America, and
death to all our enemies. Including that low-down greaser, Pancho Villa. Same again.
That guy's nuts.
Americans